there was about some 20 years gap between your second film and your third film. I mean, despite giving a successful film like Kandukunden, what was the reason?
Well, I kept trying to write, man. I tried a lot of scripts, but for
Mm.
some reason, when there's a pause button on you, you can't do anything. You
Okay.
can, you're stuck, and there's nothing you can do. And in every script you move, there was some problem or the other. It became like Soumya's character in Kandukunden itself.
Mm.
You don't know what the shit is happening, but you don't lose your head. You try,
Okay.
and then you do cinematography. Sometimes you start an institute, you teach
Mm.
people, you build a house, you learn things, and try to stay positive. And then I tried making Sarvan Talamam. So I think because I did Sarvan Talamam, I said, "Oh, okay, this guy is still directing, so maybe we can." Somebody approached me to do cinematography, so I did something as crazy as going to do a comedy film like Sumo. Then, so people say, "Okay, this guy is up for work. He's not sitting in some ivory tower, so let's call him." So during the lockdown, they made a call to me, and yeah, why not? Let's make a short film. It's great fun trying out new things.
20 years being after, how did you manage that itch, not to go, that temptation? Wasn't you,
No,
wasn't
I
that
was.
too much?
It isn't like what you think, because I'm
Hmm.
making ad films all the time. So you still
Yeah.
with the camera and you're still doing that, and you're still shooting films. You're not off the set.
Hmm.
You're still doing a Guru. You're still doing Kadal. You're still doing Morning Raga.
Yeah.
So every 3 years you're making a film, but you're not directing it, but you're shooting it.
Hmm.
And then you're also making short films in between, and you're writing scripts almost every other day, but nothing is getting made. So it's not your time. So sometimes the bowling is hostile. You got to take the blows on your body and just
Mhm.
wait till the bowler dies and he pitches up for you and you drive through covers.
Do you think that OTT gives you the right space to make the kind of content that you want to make? That
No, it's not
probably
about
won't
me.
sell on theaters.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. It's not about me. I'm completely fine making
Mm.
large-scale commercial cinema or whatever it is. But
Mm.
I think it's more to do with different kinds of content which is possible in that. Like an anthology means it's like 5 short films.
Mm. Mm.
So those subjects that can be dealt in 25 minutes is different from the subjects you can deal with for 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So I think as filmmakers or feature filmmakers, we tend to not look at those subjects, which we can look at now. That
Okay.
bittersweet ending and a little, So that is possible only when you're doing a short film.
How did it all fall in place? What was the starting point? Who came to you and how the
No,
offer?
Amazon approached us and said, "Do you have any idea? We are looking at an idea
Mm.
like this. Would you like to work on it?" I said, what is the condition? What's the kind of script you want?" He said, "There's so much of bad news on television. Every day the news keeps getting worse and worse,
Yeah.
and people are really feeling desperate and boxed in. Can you give them some hope?" So stories of people coping with COVID but having some hope
Mm.
is the idea, which was told to us, and that's a big
Mhm.
pitch in it. So then the question is writing characters and writing a situation which it's not what you see in the news. It's not about people that you know of, but you can empathize with. So it's about people which may not be discussed by mainstream media in that sense, but it's people having some genuine problems and trying to sort that out.
So how did you pick your cast?
I mean, I had worked with Andrea on 2 ads before, and I'd seen her, and she's also sort of works out in the same gym that my wife. She's kind of physically fit, and she's a very strong personality.
Mm.
Then she has some friends who play the guitar, and sometimes I've seen her in the recording studio. So she's this upbeat, strong woman. So So I said, what if I were to put her in a completely different role? What if she were to suddenly collapse, and then what would happen? What can happen? I mean, what if I counterpoint this very strong woman with a woman who's on the walker, who's like
Mm-hmm.
really struggling? So like I've got these two women characters, and what if I have somebody who's like between them? Then what would happen? So it's like a son who's a doctor. So and then you're dealing with everything that's happening in the COVID. So there's people who are at risk. Other people, doctors and nurses, are at risk. Old people are at risk. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to write a story about those kind of characters who once knew each other are coming back together. And what happened.
There's one thing that you have in common with all the directors is that you all worked with Mani Ratnam sir in some capacity or influenced by his style of filmmaking. Did that aspect create any sort of comfort level? You know.
The difference is that everybody in Tamil cinema has been influenced by Maniratnam. He
Mm,
was such a big force.
mm,
And I had the privilege of working with him when it was maximum impact, as Roja, post Roja in Bombay and things like that. So
mm.
we have collaborated on things like that. So it's only natural that you will be influenced by me.
Okay.
But this film has got nothing to do with that. It's a completely different kind of a film. It deals with an issue which has not been dealt with before, and well,